Hey guys, it's Charlie, and in today's video, I'll be showing you exactly how to use Google Gemini. I'll be covering everything you need to know, all the different features, the free versus the paid plan, some really cool use cases that Gemini is really good for. And yeah, essentially it's going to take you from beginner to a complete pro. It's going to cover everything you need to know. And guys, trust me, Gemini is such an amazing tool. It's extremely powerful. The way that it connects to all your Google tools is simply amazing. Yeah, I'd say it's such a practical AI tool that not that many people use. So let's get started. So almost all you guys watching this video probably have a Google account, and that's great because the seamless integration with Gemini is perfect. Now, the way you access Gemini is by going to gemini.google.com. If you're already logged into your Google account, it's already going to be logged in. And the first thing I want to show you guys is this right here. So this number is going to change depending on when you're watching this video. Currently, we're on the 2.5 version, but this is going to change quite often. And so on the free version of Gemini, which you guys is extremely powerful, it's powerful enough for 99% of you guys watching this video. We have the Flash model and we also have the Pro model. Now, if you do want to upgrade to AI Pro, I think it's about $20 a month. You get a bunch of other features and different models, but for most of you guys, you probably won't need this. I use Flash for answers that don't require a ton of thinking, and it's also a lot faster, so keep that in mind. And then for the Pro model, this is going to be better for reasoning, for math, for coding. If you're asking Gemini a very specific prompt that uses a lot of brain power, then this is the better model for that, but it is quite a bit slower. Now, if we come here, it's going to expand this little sidebar. It's very similar to ChatGPT, where we can have different conversations right here. So I can create new conversations whenever I want. We'll talk more about gems later on in this video. And then if you want to create a new chat, which is going to go right here, you just click right here. Now, the first use case I want to show you guys is just very similar to ChatGPT. So if you are familiar with that, then you can essentially use Gemini the same exact way. Talk to it as if it's the smartest person in the world that basically knows everything. It also has access to the internet. We're going to explore how it can actually see images and create images. There's really good integration with all your documents, so you can actually create documents directly using Gemini. And yeah, we'll cover all that in this video. For example, I can ask Gemini in 3 bullet points, what can you do better than earlier models? Keep it non-technical. So I gave us 3 bullet points. These are very easy to understand. Essentially, you can ask Gemini to do anything that ChatGPT can do. Now, with any response, what we can do is we can redo it. If we don't like the answer, you can click this button right here. You can also share and export. So I can actually share this conversation with someone else. I can export it to Google Docs directly, or I can actually draft it directly on Gmail. So if I click on this button right here, I'm gonna open Gmail. And as you can see, it basically copy and pasted that answer, and I can send it directly to whoever I want. I can also copy the response by clicking this button here. And if I click on these 3 dots right here, I can actually listen to this answer with audio, or I can actually have it double check the response. So it's going to actually verify that this response is correct. Now I want to take you guys through some of the other cool features with Gemini, because I assume you guys already know you can basically do anything with this portion right here. You can have it be your virtual assistant. You can have it draft up emails. You can have it proofread any type of writing. You can create blog posts. You can basically do anything here. Now, if we want to have Gemini help us do deep research, what we can do is click on this button right here. And this gives us a lot more in-depth answers. So if I click on this right here, it's going to activate this. Okay, so let's do something like this. Help me research the 5 most popular stocks. Create a report going over the current prices, analytics, and anything else that will help me compare the companies and make an informed buying decision. Obviously, you guys can do any type of research you want. This can be applied to pretty much anything, but let's just see what it does right here. I'm keeping this on Flash for faster answers, but if you guys want a more detailed response that takes a bit longer, you'll want to change this to Pro. So with deep research, it's actually going to tell us what it's going to be doing first. And so as you can see, it's going to first research different websites. It's going to analyze the results and then create a report. Now, if we want to change this research plan, we can go ahead and click on this and edit this however we want, but usually it knows exactly what to do quite well. So I'll click on start research. As it's actually doing the research, it's going to show its thinking. So that's really cool for you guys to see. It usually will go through dozens or even hundreds of different websites. And so you can see how it saves you a ton of time, especially for research, because it can crawl these websites super quickly and do things just 1,000 times faster than any human. It's gone through all these different websites, which is just crazy. And usually this will take a few minutes depending on what type of report and research it's doing. So now that it's done, this took a few minutes to do. We can go through this and see what it has given us. We can see there's a high-level summary of what's in this report. We have an intro. We have a table comparing some of the key metrics for these 5 companies. It's really cool. You can export directly to Sheets if you want. Now it's going to go even deeper into each of these 5 companies. It also gives us an appendix, so it's going to have all the citations of the sources it used, and we'll be able to actually see all the sources used in the report here as well we'll click on them and actually see that article. Now, if I click on this button right here, we'll be able to export directly to Docs, or we can just copy the contents and paste it elsewhere. Additionally, we can click on this create button and we can actually use this to create a web page. You can create an infographic, a quiz, or an audio overview, which is really cool. I'm going to show you guys what infographic looks like. And by the way, we can always ask it to change different things here on the left side. We can ask it more questions, give it more context, and it's going to bake that into the research report. So here it's coding this infographic for us. By default, it's going to be a single page infographic, but we can also change it. We can have it create a 2-pager, a 3-pager. Basically, you can give it any types of directions here, and it's going to make those changes. So now that's done, and we can actually scroll through this pretty cool infographic. If you're more of a visual person, this can be a great way to analyze data. Of course, it summarizes it. There's a lot less text since it is an infographic. And if you like it, you can click on this button right here to share it. Of course, any changes, we can simply ask Gemini right here. And yeah, this is just a really cool use case. I think a lot of people don't realize how powerful the deep research tool is, as well as how many different things you can actually export using these reports. Now, in showing you guys deep research and creating that infographic, I basically showed you guys the canvas mode. This mode allows us to create docs and applications directly within Gemini. So let me show you guys quickly how this works. Okay, create a basic Tetris game. It's going to begin coding this game for us. And of course, we can change the colors. We can change the style of the actual game. And yeah, as you can see, we have this playable game right here. Okay, obviously, I'm not playing correctly, but very cool, right? So with this canvas mode, you can basically create anything you want in terms of like document, infographic, a web page, game, and application. Gemini can code all this for you, and it's completely free. The next thing I want to show you guys is the image mode. So basically what we can do is we can generate images using Imagen. So if we click on this right here, we can say something like this. So create a picture of an iPhone 16 Pro on a picnic table that is on the beach. Make it during sunset, hyper realistic. So let's go ahead and create that. I love how all this stuff is just directly in one spot, so you don't need to go to separate applications. That's one thing I love about Gemini. All right, cool. So it's generated this image right here. So we click on it. That is the larger size, and we can download it right here. It's done a pretty good job. Of course, I didn't give it as many instructions as I probably should have. So if we want to change the layout of the phone, if you want it facing the other way, the more specific you are with your prompts for image generation, the better the image. But overall, I think this is a really cool start. Now, if you've noticed this plus button right here, we can use this button to add files. Gemini can actually see different images and videos, so that's really cool. And we can actually upload images and have it be able to interpret what is in that image. So if I click on this button, I can actually upload files directly from my computer, or I can add directly from my drive. And really quickly before I do this, I want to make sure you guys have your settings correct. So come here to settings and help, go to apps right here, and make sure that this is turned on. So if you have Google Workspace turned on, it's going to connect to your Gmail, your calendar, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive. And that really is the beauty of Gemini because of that seamless integration with all of your Google Workspace. You can also toggle on and off these other things here like Google Flights, Google Hotels, Google Maps. There's also YouTube and YouTube Music. This app right here is actually really cool because you can put a link to a YouTube video and have it summarized extremely well. We'll come back to this really quickly. Let me go back to that chat we had. So I'm going to upload a salary guide for one of my companies. It's an overseas recruiting company called Paired. It's basically our salary guide going over different salaries for different countries. And I can ask Gemini anything about this PDF. So this is a multi-page PDF with quite a bit of text. So I can say something like this: summarize this PDF into 10 main bullet points. So it's going to actually read that PDF, and here is the summary that it's giving us. So looking through this, yes, this looks completely accurate. We can also upload this image of a car, and we can ask it a really basic question, and it's not perfectly correct. It's not the Aventador SVJ, it's the Aventador SV, but that's okay because the cars look basically the same. You guys get the point. Gemini can basically see anything you want it to see, so you can just add a file. It can be a PDF, it can be an image, it can be a video, and ask Gemini anything about it. You can even have it test you based on whatever you inputted, right? So that PDF I put before, I could have it generate a 5-question quiz and quiz me on the information. Now, if you want to directly use a Google app within Gemini, what you'll do is type in @ and then we'll go ahead and find what we're trying to use. So Google Flights, we'll paste our question. So show me flights to Tokyo from LAX for December 17, 2025. Now it's going to go directly to Google Flights and create this answer for us. So you can see these are the different airlines. These are the prices. prices, and it also shows us how long the flight is. We also have this right here, so we can directly click on this and it's going to take us to Google Flights. That search is already pre-entered, which is pretty cool, and we can directly book the flights here. Let me also show you guys YouTube. So if I click on YouTube, you don't need to do this, but I just like to do it sometimes. Watch this video. Give me 5 main takeaways. So this is a video that I made on my channel. It's a tutorial on Go High Level. As you can see, it's going to connect to YouTube. It's actually going to watch the video, and it's going to give us our 5 main takeaways. It's also going to give time codes, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you want summaries of YouTube videos, this is a fantastic way to do it. Okay, so now I want to show you guys gems. This is really cool. This is similar to basically projects and custom GPTs in ChatGPT. But if you're not too familiar with that, it's basically like different specific tools with very specific instructions. So there are pre-made gems that we can instantly start to use. For example, we can actually play chess with a language model right here. There's a brainstormer, there's a career guide, there's more as well. So learning coach, right? Writing editor, coding partner. But if you want to create your own gem, you can actually do that quite easily. So here you can see it says gems are basically custom versions of Gemini that give you tailored responses. And essentially we can customize these gems to our liking with very specific instructions and data. So let me show you real quick. If you click on plus new gem right here, we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to do something like YouTube title generator. For instructions, you can see you want to give it its main objectives. And you can also say what type of response you want, like the style. And if you're lazy, you can actually write something pretty simple and come here. This is going to allow us to use Gemini to rewrite the instructions in a better way. So we'll click on that. Cool. So this looks pretty good. If I want to give it specific knowledge, I can actually add files directly here for Gemini to reference. And as you can see, you can add up to 10 different files to your gem. But for now, I'm not going to add anything right here. And here is a preview. So if I ask it, give me titles for a video about Google Gemini. So it's actually asking me a few questions before it gives me answers. So let's say beginners, let's make it casual, and any keywords. Let's do tutorial complete. Okay, so that's going to give us a bunch of different titles that we can use for this specific video. And yeah, these are actually really, really good. So once we're done with this, we'll click on save. And it's going to save this gem for us to reference and use whenever we want. If you come here to the sidebar, it's now going to show up here under gems, and you can create multiple gems and have them all right here. Now, one of my favorite ways to use Gemini is actually on the go, and it's using my phone. So if you guys download the Gemini app, it's really easy to use. So I have it pulled up right here. And as you can see, you have the same features. You have research mode, you have canvas mode. We can add files if we want, and you can use Gemini exactly on your phone as you would on your computer. Now, I really like to just talk to Gemini. So what you'll do is you'll click on this button right here, and it's going to open up Gemini Live. With Gemini Live, it's basically like having a conversation with someone. So let me show you guys, for example. So I have a presentation coming up tomorrow. Can you tell me 3 ways to de-stress before my presentation and keep it under 15 seconds?
Sure thing. First, try some deep breathing. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. Do this a few times to regulate your heart rate. Second, visualize success. Imagine yourself giving a great speech, confident, clear, and engaging. This can boost your self-assurance. Finally, use positive self-talk. Remind yourself of your strengths and preparation. Instead of "I'm so nervous," try "I'm well prepared and ready to share my ideas."
So once you get out of Gemini Live mode, it actually has the whole conversation in text, which is pretty cool. And so if you forgot what it said, you can always reference it right here. Yeah, Gemini Live is really advanced. I love how it sounds. It feels actually really natural, like you're talking to someone. The real-time voice capabilities of AI are just getting extremely good. So now I want to take you guys through some of the features of the paid plan. And so if you come up here to upgrade, I'm going to upgrade this account just to show you some of the cool features. And they usually have some type of promos. So for example, you can see it's free for the first month. So it's going to show us some of the things we get with this plan. So we can actually create really high videos with VO3. And it's essentially a Google One subscription. So you also get access to Flow, Whisk, and Notebook LM. And if you want to use Gemini within your emails or your docs, this allows you to do that. And you also get 2 terabytes of total storage. So it's actually a pretty solid deal. Cool. So now I have a pro subscription. And as you can see, we now have this video button right here that allows us to generate videos. So if I click on this button right here, we're going to be able to describe our video. So I said that a cute panda on a mountain, hyper realistic, and the panda is eating something. It's early morning at sunrise, and the scene is filmed on a camera that's on a dolly going from left to right. So the more specific you are with this, the more accurate it's going to be, of course. You can also add a photo, so that's going to be able to turn that photo into a moving video. But let's go ahead and try this right here. Image generation takes a lot of processing power. So that's why it takes a few minutes, even for a short 8-second clip like this. All right, it's done generating. Let's click on this to play it. So overall, I think it's pretty cool. It doesn't really have that camera dolly effect that I was asking it to do, but that's okay. We can give it revision comments. And with this new video model right now, it actually generates audio, which is pretty cool. And if you want to download the video, you just come here, click on download video, and it's going to save it to your computer. So as you can see, with my current plan, I can only generate 2 more videos today, so 3 total per day. With the really expensive plan, that's like $250 a month currently, you can generate a lot more videos. Now, if I go to Gmail, which I assume most of you use, we now have Gemini capabilities baked into it. So as you can see, if I come here to draft an email, I can click on this button right here. I can write some type of prompt. All right, so we'll do something like this. We'll click on create. So it's generated this for us. I'm going to actually click on refine. I'm going to click on elaborate, and it's actually going to make it even longer, right? So we can easily change the output. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. I'm going to click on insert, and now I'll be able to send this email. You can also see our gems show up on this sidebar right here. And to get the sidebar, all you have to do is click on this button right here. Gemini also has access to our emails, so we can ask it questions about a certain email thread. Here's a bunch of other stuff that it can do, right? It can draft emails, it can suggest responses, it can summarize entire email threads, you can find information. You have the calendar integration, so it knows when you are available, so it can schedule things for you. Yeah, super, super cool. If I also go to docs, click on blank documents, we can now use Gemini to basically generate a document for me, help us write. For example, if I click on this, let's just choose this one to show it. We want a planning document to launch this thing, a drink at our coffee shop. Let's click on create. And yeah, like I said earlier, one of the really great advantages of Gemini is that it is so baked into the whole Google ecosystem. And many of you guys watching this video probably use Gmail, Google Docs extensively. So if you want to have AI capabilities directly within these apps, and this is probably going to be the most practical use of Gemini. Cool. So it's generated this whole document for us, which is pretty neat. And yeah, this can save you guys a ton of time. You also have similar functionality within Google Sheets. And so yeah, this is definitely one of the cool features about that Pro plan. The Pro plan also allows us to schedule different things. So I can do something like this, schedule a daily notice at 11 a.m. PST. That includes 3 top moving stocks for the day. So as you can see, it's scheduled this, and I can pause it at any time or edit this. So definitely take advantage of this if you do have the paid plan. So we've basically covered the most essential features and use cases for Google Gemini. As you guys can see, there is so much stuff you can do within Gemini. And what I encourage you to do is actually go out there and use these features yourself, because that is the best way to actually learn them. Yes, watching this video is going to help you have a better understanding, but until you actually go out there and actually use Gemini and put these things into practice, that's going to really ingrain it into your mind and allow you to use it on a day-to-day basis. As you can see, it's extremely powerful. It's a great AI tool that I think more people should use. And if you're a heavy Google user, you're going to love the seamless integration with Google Docs, with Gmail, and all that stuff. When properly used, Gemini can probably save you 10, 20, 30 hours per week. And so this really is a super tool that more people need to know how to use. Hopefully you guys got some value from this video. I know we covered a lot of different things, but feel free to share this video with a friend that also wants to learn Google Gemini. And yeah, if you got any value from this video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more videos just like this. I make a ton of free educational videos here on YouTube, and my whole goal is to help you live a productive and successful life. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.